You ever notice how the moment you tell people your dreams, they start tearing them down? The second you open your mouth, the world gets to work trying to break you. Not because your dream is impossible, but because your dream reminds them of everything they failed to become. They'll smile to your face, but inside, they want you to stay exactly where you are. Because if you grow, if you evolve, if you win, then they have no excuse for why they didn't. Most people don't dream. They survive. They wake up, clock in, go through the motions, and die with their potential still locked inside them. So when you tell them you want something bigger, something more, you expose their weakness. You show them what they could have been if they had the guts to go all in. And that makes them uncomfortable. That's why they tell you to be realistic. That's why they laugh. That's why they doubt. But you're different. You see something they don't. You feel something inside you, burning, screaming, clawing to get out. That dream, that's your calling. That's your purpose. And if you want to make it real, you have to protect it. You have to treat it like a secret weapon, because the second you expose it to the world, the attacks begin. Dreams don't survive in weak hands. They need discipline, they need work, and most of all, they need silence. Stop talking, stop announcing, stop looking for validation from people who don't even believe in themselves. Put your head down and grind. Because when you're in the shadows, no one can shoot at you. When you move in silence, no one can stop you. You ever wonder why the most dangerous people are the quietest in the room? Because they're already doing the work. They're too busy training, too busy sharpening their weapons, too busy becoming the version of themselves that no one will see coming. That's how you need to be. Silent, ruthless, focused. I've seen it too many times, people with real potential, real fire, throwing it all away because they needed someone else to believe in them first. Let me tell you something, nobody's coming to believe in you. That's your job. And if you can't believe in yourself without an audience, you don't want it bad enough. The world is full of dream killers, people who failed and want company in their misery. They'll tell you it's impossible. They'll tell you it's not worth it. And if you let them, they'll kill your dream before it even has a chance to breathe. So stop feeding them. Stop giving them power over what you know in your soul you were meant to do. I don't care if it takes you 10 years. I don't care if nobody understands. I don't care if they think you're crazy. The only thing that matters is that you show up every single day and put in the work. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Because one day when you're standing at the top, when you become everything they said you never would, the only thing they'll have left is regret. So keep your dream locked up. Keep it protected. Let them find out when it's too late to stop you. Because when you move in silence, you strike with power. When you stop talking, you start doing. And when you start doing, there's not a damn thing they can do to stop you. The world doesn't want you to win. The second you say you want more, you become a threat. People don't want threats, they want comfort. They want you to stay just like them, weak, tired, complaining about the same problems they refuse to fix. You start working harder, and they see their own excuses in the mirror. They don't hate you for your dream. They hate you because your discipline forces them to see how little they've done with their own lives. They'll smile to your face while tearing you down behind your back. They'll say they support you, but the moment you slip, they'll celebrate. Because deep down, they want to be right. They want you to fail so they don't have to deal with the guilt of quitting on themselves. Every time you push forward, every time you break through, you remind them that they had the same chance, but they chose comfort over growth. You think the world will cheer you on for trying to be great. Hell no, it wants you broken. It wants you doubting yourself. It wants you exhausted, defeated, questioning if you were ever good enough. Because if you stay down, you're easier to control. You're easier to manipulate. But the second you start standing up, the attacks begin. The moment you show signs of rising, they'll throw everything at you to keep you on your knees. They'll say you've changed. They'll tell you you're too obsessed, too intense, too different. Good. That means you're on the right path, because the only way to win is to become the person they can't understand. The version of you that refuses to slow down, refuses to make excuses, refuses to bow to their expectations. They want the old you back because the old you wasn't a threat. The old you was easy to ignore. People don't sabotage losers. They don't waste their energy tearing down people going nowhere. So if they're coming for you, if they're doubting you, if they're trying to break you, it means you're doing something right. They're afraid of what you could become if you keep going. They know that if you don't stop, they'll have no choice but to watch you succeed where they stay exactly where they are. The world doesn't want you to win. And that's exactly why you have to. You have to become undeniable. You have to reach a level where their opinions don't matter, where their doubts become fuel. Let them talk. Let them mock you. But don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. You weren't built for their approval. You were built to push through hell and come out stronger on the other side. You think you need support. You don't. You think you need encouragement? You don't. What you need is an iron will that doesn't give a damn what anyone thinks. You need to be so locked in, so focused that their negativity bounces right off you. They want you to need them, to crave their validation. But the moment you stop seeking their approval is the moment you become unstoppable. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you anything. If you want this, if you really want this, you have to be willing to fight for it like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Every second you waste caring about their opinions is another second you could be using to build the future they said you'd never have. The only way to prove them wrong is through action. Most people fold under pressure. They let criticism break them. They let doubt slow them down. Not you. You take every negative word, every insult, every piece of hate, and you turn it into pure energy. You use it to train harder, to work longer, to become so damn good that they can't deny you anymore. Because when you refuse to break, when you refuse to stop, you take away their power. They can't stop you. They can't hold you back. The only way they win is if you let them get in your head. And that's exactly why you have to shut them out. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them an apology. The only thing you owe them is proof that you never needed their belief in the first place. You build in silence. You work in silence. And when the time comes, you let the results speak for themselves. They wanted you weak. They wanted you quiet. But now, you're something else. Now you're a force they can't ignore. Every rep, every sacrifice, it all adds up. And one day, when they look up and see you standing at the top, the only thing they'll have left is regret. Regret that they ever doubted you. Regret that they didn't have the same fire. Regret that they wasted their time trying to break you. But you won't care, because by then you'll be too far ahead to hear their excuses. You'll be too locked in to even acknowledge their existence. While they were talking, you were working. While they were laughing, you were grinding. And now they have no choice but to watch as you become everything they said you never would. That's how you win. Not by talking, not by explaining, by proving every single one of them wrong. Every time they doubt you, every time they tell you to quit, remind yourself of this: they don't hate you. They hate themselves. They hate that you refuse to settle. They hate that you refuse to accept their version of reality. They hate that while they stayed the same, you became something more. They wanted you to be just like them. Instead, you became the one thing they fear the most, untouchable. So let them come. Let them doubt. Let them throw everything they have at you. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you never stop. You never slow down. You never break. And when it's all said and done, when you're standing on top, when the dream they tried to kill is now your reality, they'll have no choice but to sit back and watch. Because by then, it will be too damn late. You win by refusing to give in. You win by staying focused. You win by becoming the person they never saw coming. Keep moving. Keep grinding. Keep proving them wrong. Validation is a weak man's drug. Most people will never make it because they're addicted to approval. They need a pat on the back just to keep going. They want someone to tell them they're good enough before they even put in the work. That's why they stay average. That's why they quit the moment it gets hard. Because deep down, they never wanted greatness, they wanted validation. They wanted an audience before they had the discipline. You think the world cares about your dream? It doesn't. You think people are waiting to cheer you on? They're not. Nobody gives a damn about your goals until they see results. And that's exactly why you have to stop seeking approval. You have to stop running to people for motivation. You have to stop needing someone to clap for you before you've earned it. Because if you need that now, you'll never survive the grind. The ones who make it, the ones who break through, they don't give a damn if anyone believes in them. They don't need applause. They don't need a fan club. They move in silence. They work when no one's watching. Because they understand that real confidence doesn't come from people hyping you up. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to show up and get it done. You can either chase validation or you can chase greatness, but you can't have both. Validation keeps you weak. It makes you dependent. It puts your success in the hands of other people. And the moment they stop clapping, the moment they stop supporting, you'll collapse. Because you never built yourself on discipline, you built yourself on approval. And that's why you'll never last. Most people will quit when no one is watching. They'll go hard when there's an audience, but the second they're alone, the second the applause dies down, they stop. That's why they stay the same year after year. They can't function without people telling them they're doing great. But the truth is, the great ones don't need noise. They don't need recognition. They don't need people to see the work because they're too busy doing it. The real ones wake up every day and get after it no matter what. No cameras, no cheers, no applause, just work. They train in the dark. They grind in silence because they understand that when the time comes, when they finally step into the light, they'll be so damn prepared that there won't be any competition. That's the difference between those who talk and those who execute. People who need validation are soft. They break when things don't go their way. They fold under pressure because their motivation was never real. It was built on attention, on likes, on approval from people who don't even have their own lives together. And when that disappears, they have nothing left. That's why so many people give up. Not because they weren't capable, but because they never learned how to be self-sufficient. You have to become your own source of motivation. You have to be the one who pushes yourself when no one else will. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to carry you across the finish line. If you can't keep going without an audience, you'll never make it. The work has to come first. The results have to be your validation, not the opinions of people who wouldn't last a day in your shoes. The weak ones look for shortcuts. They want recognition without the sacrifice. They want credit before they've even proven themselves. That's why they fake it. That's why they pretend to be something they're not. Because deep down, they don't want the struggle. They don't want the years of grinding. They just want the end result. And that's exactly why they never get there. The ones who win don't care about looking good. They care about being good. They care about putting in the hours, doing the work, and staying locked in, even when nobody sees it. Because they know that when the time comes, when all the fakes fall apart, they'll still be standing. They'll still be strong. Because they built themselves on something real discipline, effort, and a relentless mindset. You can't fake this. You can't shortcut this. You either put in the work when no one's watching, or you don't. You either grind in the dark, or you get exposed in the light. That's the reality. And if you're still looking for validation, still looking for someone to tell you you're doing great, you're not ready. Because when it gets hard, when the obstacles start piling up, there won't be a crowd to keep you going. It'll just be you. If you want to be great, stop looking for approval. Stop waiting for people to believe in you. They won't. Not now. Not until you've already made it. And by then, it won't even matter. Because the only thing that's real, the only thing that will carry you through is the work you put in every single day. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who disappear when the applause stops. It's not about who believes in you. It's about who keeps going when no one does. It's about who stays in the fight when there's nothing left but the grind. That's what separates the weak from the strong. That's what determines who rises and who fades away. Because at the end of the day, validation is temporary. But the results last forever. So stop looking for approval. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. Stop needing motivation from people who don't even have the discipline to change their own lives. If you want this, if you really want this, you have to be willing to go all in alone. No applause, no recognition, just you, your goal, and the work. That's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes you win. And when you finally make it, when you finally prove to yourself that you never needed their approval, that's when you'll realize the truth validation was never the goal. Greatness was. And now, you don't need anyone to believe in you because you already believe in yourself. Silence is your greatest weapon. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. They talk big, make promises, and run their mouth about what they're going to do. But when it's time to put in the work, they disappear. That's why silence is the deadliest weapon you have. It makes people underestimate you. It makes them think you're not a threat. And when they least expect it, you strike. That's how real killers move: quiet, disciplined, and unstoppable. Most people want attention. They want recognition before they've done anything. They think if they talk enough about their plans, people will respect them. But all they're doing is wasting energy. Every second spent explaining yourself is a second you could be putting in work. Every time you tell someone your dream, you give them the chance to plant doubt in your mind. That's why the great ones move in silence. Talking gives people power over you. The moment you tell them your goals, they'll try to control them. They'll tell you it's too hard. They'll laugh at you. They'll throw their own fears onto you because they can't handle the idea of someone breaking through. The less you say, the less they have to attack. The more you keep your mouth shut, the more you protect your vision. Because once you say it out loud, it's open for destruction. The real ones don't need validation. They don't need an audience. They don't need to be seen grinding. They just do it. They wake up every day and execute with no need for applause. Because they understand that the only thing that matters is the result. Not the hype, not the talk, not the opinions of weak people, but the undeniable proof that they did exactly what they set out to do. You think you need to announce your goals? You don't. You think you need people to know how hard you're working? You don't. The only thing you need is discipline. The only thing you need is consistency. Let them doubt you. Let them think you're not capable. That's what makes it even sweeter when you show up out of nowhere, already miles ahead, already too strong for them to stop. Most people don't have the patience for silence. They want instant gratification. They want people to know they're grinding, so they post every little thing they do. But that's weakness, that's insecurity. That's the mind of someone who needs approval to keep going. The ones who win, they don't care if anyone sees their process. They care about making sure the work gets done, whether the world is watching or not. The louder you are, the easier you are to target. When people know your moves, they can predict you. They can sabotage you. They can plant seeds of doubt in your mind. That's why silence is so powerful. It gives you control. It keeps your enemies guessing. They don't know how far ahead you are. They don't know what you're working on. And by the time they figure it out, it's already too late. Most people think success is about being seen. They think if no one knows what they're doing, they're falling behind. That's why they fail. Because they put energy into showing off instead of locking in. They waste time trying to convince people they're grinding instead of actually grinding. But the great ones let the work do the talking. They don't need to explain. They just show up and dominate. You can't let the world in on your plans. You can't give people a chance to break your focus. Every time you talk, you're giving away momentum. Every time you seek validation, you're showing weakness. The strong ones, they know the real power is in staying quiet, keeping their heads down, and executing. And when the time comes, they don't talk about what they've done. They just show up and make people regret ever doubting them. It's not about being mysterious. It's about being strategic. It's about keeping your vision locked in so tight that nothing can shake it. It's about understanding that the world doesn't need to know what you're doing. It just needs to see the end result. And when they finally do, when they see what you built in silence, they won't know how to handle it. Because they thought you weren't a threat. They thought you weren't capable. Let them think that. Let them believe you're not grinding. Let them assume you've given up. Because while they're sleeping, you're working. While they're doubting, you're building. And when you finally emerge, when you finally step into the light, they won't be able to do a damn thing to stop you. That's how the real ones win. Not by talking, not by announcing, by executing in silence and striking when it counts. Weak people run their mouths. They brag about things they haven't even done yet. They seek attention because they can't survive without it. But real discipline, real power, that comes from being able to grind alone, without recognition, without applause. That comes from having a vision so strong that you don't need anyone else to believe in it. You just put in the work day after day and let the results speak for themselves. The second you stop talking, the second you stop explaining, is the second you take control. You don't owe anyone an announcement. You don't owe them an explanation. The only thing you owe is proof that they never should have doubted you in the first place. And the only way to do that is to stay quiet, stay locked in, and make sure that when the time comes, your success is too big for them to ignore. Most people will never understand this. They'll keep running their mouths, posting their progress, begging for validation. And that's why they'll never win. But you're different. You're built for this. You don't need an audience, you just need a mission. And as long as you keep grinding, as long as you keep moving in silence, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them think you've disappeared. Because when the time comes, when the work is done, and the results are undeniable, they'll realize the truth while they were busy running their mouths. You were out here, taking everything they said you couldn't have. Doubt is fuel, not an obstacle. Most people crumble when they hear doubt. The second someone tells them they won't make it, they start questioning themselves. They let that negativity sink in and tear them apart. But the strong ones, they take that doubt and turn it into fuel. They don't get discouraged, they get pissed. They take every word, every insult, every ounce of disbelief, and they use it to push harder, go longer, and prove everyone wrong. Doubt is not your enemy. It's your weapon. Every time someone tells you that you can't do something, they're handing you power. They're giving you the very thing you need to go beyond your limits, but most people waste it. They take doubt personally. They let it shake their confidence. They start wondering if maybe, just maybe, the world is right about them. And that's exactly why they fail. The truth is, nobody doubts someone who isn't a threat. If they're trying to drag you down, it's because they see something in you. They know you have potential, and that scares them. They want to stop you before you even started. Because if you ever figure out what you're capable of, you'll expose them for what they really are: weak, lazy, and afraid. They doubt you because they don't want to face the fact that you might be better than them. You have two choices when people doubt you. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. The weak ones take it as a sign to quit. They let other people's opinions dictate their future. But the ones who win, they take that doubt, they hold on to it, and they let it drive them. Every negative word becomes another rep. Every insult becomes another mile. Every time someone says you can't, they make sure the answer is watch me. Doubt isn't just fuel, it's proof that you're on the right path. If no one is questioning you, if no one is trying to hold you back, then you're not doing anything worthwhile. The biggest threats always face the most resistance. The ones who change the game always start out as the underdog. So if people are doubting you good, that means you're headed in the right direction. Now it's up to you to use it. Most people think doubt is something they have to overcome. They spend their lives trying to prove people wrong in a way that still seeks approval. They want those same people to turn around and say, I was wrong about you. But real warriors don't need that. They don't need anyone to change their mind. Because by the time they're done, it won't matter what anyone thinks. The results will speak for themselves. The greatest revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's making their opinion irrelevant. It's getting to a place where their doubt doesn't even touch you, where you're so locked in, so focused, that you don't need their approval, their validation, or even their recognition. That's the mindset you need. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck, repeating the same excuses over and over. Most people don't have the mental toughness to turn doubt into fuel. They take it as rejection, as a sign to stop. But the real ones, they eat doubt for breakfast. They take every negative word and use it as a reminder that they have work to do. They don't get emotional about it. They don't waste time arguing. They just get up, get after it, and make sure that when the results come in, there's nothing left to say. You don't need to argue with doubters. You don't need to defend yourself. The second you engage in that game, you've already lost. Because doubt only has power if you acknowledge it. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop explaining, is the moment you take control. You let them talk, you let them laugh, and then you disappear into the grind. That's how you make sure their words mean nothing. Every champion has been doubted. Every success story started with someone saying, you'll never make it. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent, isn't luck, it's how they handle doubt. The weak ones let it break them. The strong ones let it ignite something inside of them that can't be stopped. The ones who win are the ones who don't let doubt dictate their actions. You have to get comfortable with doubt. You have to get to a place where it doesn't shake you, where it doesn't slow you down. You have to welcome it, embrace it, and let it drive you forward. Because the more they doubt you, the bigger the win will be. And when you finally get there, when you finally prove to yourself that you never needed their belief, that's when you'll realize doubt was never a barrier. It was the fire that kept you going. It's easy to give up when people don't believe in you. It's easy to use doubt as an excuse to stop. But excuses are for the weak. The ones who make it don't care if the world doubts them. They don't care if no one believes. They don't need a support system. They don't need motivation from the outside. They are their own fuel source, their own power, their own reason to keep pushing. So the next time someone doubts you, don't get discouraged. Get dangerous. Take their words and burn them into your mind. Let them become the reason you push through the pain, the reason you stay disciplined when no one is watching. Let their doubt become the thing that makes you unstoppable. Because at the end of the day, their opinion doesn't matter, only your actions do. Doubt is not an obstacle. It's a gift. It's the thing that will push you harder, farther, and faster than anything else. If you know how to use it, you will become unstoppable. If you let it break you, you will never make it. The choice is yours. Either let them be right or make sure they're ever opening their mouths. Either way, the only way forward is through. Protect your vision like your life depends on it. Your dream is fragile. It's not some invincible force that will survive on its own. It needs protection. It needs discipline. It needs you to fight for it like it's the only thing keeping you alive. Because the second you expose it to the wrong people, the second you let weak-minded opinions into your head, that dream starts to rot from the inside. And before you know it, it's dead, gone. Just another idea that never saw the light of day. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they let other people infect their vision. They share their goals with the wrong crowd, looking for support, looking for encouragement. But all they get is doubt, jealousy, and fear disguised as advice. That's too risky. Are you sure that's a good idea? Maybe you should play it safe. And suddenly, that fire inside you starts to flicker. You start questioning yourself, and that's the beginning of the end. You can't let that happen. You can't afford to let weak people have a say in your future. Your dream isn't up for discussion. It's not something you present to the world, hoping for approval. It's yours, it's personal, and it's your responsibility to protect it with everything you've got. That means keeping your mouth shut. That means guarding your mind like a fortress. That means being ruthless about who gets access to your vision. People don't always doubt you because they hate you. Sometimes they doubt you because your ambition scares them. Your drive makes them uncomfortable. Your hunger reminds them of everything they're not willing to do. So instead of supporting you, they try to bring you down to their level. They try to make you think small so they can feel comfortable staying small. That's why you have to keep your vision to yourself. Every time you let someone in on your dreams, you're taking a risk. You're giving them the chance to inject their fears into you. And the worst part, they won't even realize they're doing it. They'll act like they're helping you, like they're protecting you from disappointment. But all they're really doing is trying to kill your fire before it gets too big, before it burns so hot that it forces them to wake up and face their own weaknesses. Your vision is sacred. It's the blueprint for your future. If you let the wrong people put their hands on it, they'll distort it. They'll water it down. They'll make you doubt yourself until you're just another person who almost did something great. That's why you have to be selective. That's why you have to move in silence. Not because you're afraid of failing, but because you refuse to let anyone poison your path. Weak people need validation. They need a crowd to believe in them before they even take the first step. But the real ones, they don't need that. They don't care if no one sees the vision. They don't care if people think they're crazy. They wake up every day and execute, knowing that the only thing that matters is the result. Because once they succeed, once they build what they set out to build, the doubters won't have a damn thing to say. Protecting your vision doesn't just mean keeping quiet. It means controlling your environment. It means surrounding yourself with people who push you forward, not pull you back. It means cutting off the ones who drain your energy, the ones who distract you, the ones who don't believe in you. Because if they're not adding fuel to your fire, they're trying to put it out. And you can't afford to let that happen. Most people live their lives reacting. They let outside voices dictate their actions. They let fear, doubt, and negativity mold them into something smaller than they were meant to be. But if you want to win, if you want to turn your dream into reality, you have to take control. You have to shut out the noise. You have to build a mental shield so strong that nothing can penetrate it, no doubt, no criticism, no excuses. There will be days when you feel alone. There will be days when you question whether it's worth it. That's the price of having a vision bigger than the average mind can comprehend. But that's also what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. Because while they're waiting for permission, waiting for approval, waiting for the right time, you're out here outing, executing, and making things happen. Your vision is your responsibility. No one is going to protect it for you. No one is going to hand you a safe space to grow it. It's up to you to defend it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every choice you make, every person you keep in your circle, every word you allow into your mind, it all affects whether that vision thrives or dies. And if you're not careful, if you're not ruthless, you'll wake up one day and realize you let your dream slip away. The world will test you. It will try to shake your focus. It will try to break your spirit. But you have to be stronger than that. You have to stand guard at the door of your mind and refuse to let weakness in. You have to be relentless in your pursuit, unshakable in your belief, and untouchable in your discipline. Because the second you let your guard down, the second you entertain the wrong opinions, your vision is at risk. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being smart. It's about knowing that most people don't have what it takes to see something through. And if you give them the chance, they'll project that failure onto you. They'll make you doubt yourself, not because they're right, but because they're afraid of what happens if you actually win. That's why you have to move in silence. That's why you have to keep your dream locked inside, like a weapon waiting to be unleashed. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to see the vision except for you. Protect it, guard it. And when the time comes, let the results speak for themselves. Because at the end of the day, the loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, the one who moves in silence, who builds without distraction, who executes without hesitation. That's the one who dominates. Let your work speak for itself. Talk is cheap. Ideas are worthless without execution. The world is full of people who never shut up about what they're going to do. They tell everyone about their big plans, their dreams, their ambitions. But when it's time to put in the work, silence. They disappear. No action. No discipline. Just another person who talked a big game but never had the guts to back it up. If you want to win, shut your mouth and let your results do the talking. You don't need to announce your goals. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need validation. Most people talk about their dreams because they're looking for approval. They want someone to pat them on the back and say, wow, that's amazing. But what they don't realize is that every time they do that, they're stealing from themselves. They're letting out their energy before they've even done the work. Every time you speak on something before it's real, you weaken it. You put unnecessary pressure on yourself. You invite doubt. You let people's opinions get into your head. And for what? A quick dopamine hit? A little bit of recognition for something you haven't even earned yet. That's why most people fail before they even start. They trade execution for attention, and attention doesn't build anything. Real winners don't waste time talking. They're too busy working. They're too locked in, too focused, too committed to getting better. They don't care about hype. They don't need an audience. They wake up every single day and attack their goals with ruthless discipline. No distractions, no noise, just action. Because they know the truth. Success isn't about what you say, it's about what you do. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who have built something real, the ones who dominate in their field. Did they waste time explaining their every move? Did they beg for support? No, they showed up. They delivered. They made people pay attention through results, not words. That's the standard. That's the mindset. If you're serious about your dream, stop talking and start executing. Most people don't have the patience to move in silence. They want instant gratification. They want to be seen as successful before they've put in the work. But that's not how this game works. If you chase approval, you'll never achieve mastery. If you need people to believe in you before you start, you'll never finish. The real ones. They don't need belief. They don't need support. They just grind until there's no choice but to respect them. There's power in silence. There's strength in moving with discipline, with focus, without seeking recognition. Because while everyone else is wasting time trying to prove themselves to people who don't even matter, you're stacking wins. You're building momentum. And by the time they realize what you've been doing, it's too late. You're already too far ahead for them to catch up. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to explain yourself. The people who doubt you, the ones who don't believe in you, they don't matter. What matters is your work ethic, your ability to show up day after day, no matter what. Your willingness to suffer, to grind, to push through every obstacle until there's nothing left to question. That's what separates the weak from the strong. The weak ones want attention. The strong ones want results. The weak ones make excuses. The strong ones make progress. The weak ones stay busy talking about what they could do. The strong ones shut up and do it. If you want to be taken seriously, stop running your mouth and start proving yourself. If you're good enough, the world will notice. If you're not, keep working until you are. This isn't about ego. It's about focus. It's about discipline. Every second you spend explaining yourself is a second you could have spent improving. Every ounce of energy wasted on getting people to believe in you is energy you could have used to make yourself undeniable. And that's the goal. Not to be heard, not to be seen, but to be undeniable. To get to a place where your results are so massive that nobody can ignore them. When you let your work speak, nobody can argue with it. They can doubt you in the beginning. They can laugh, they can criticize, they can call you crazy. But when you show up, when you deliver, when you dominate, their words become irrelevant. There's no debate. There's no discussion. Because the truth is standing right in front of them, and there's nothing they can do but respect it. Most people fail because they waste time trying to prove themselves instead of actually becoming great. They care too much about what others think. They let opinions slow them down. But if you truly want to succeed, you have to let go of that weakness. You have to build in silence, execute in private, and let your results slap them in the face when the time comes. Silence isn't weakness. It's power. It's control. It's a weapon. And if you know how to use it, you become unstoppable. Because while everyone else is busy seeking attention, you're building something real. While they're chasing validation, you're stacking undeniable proof. And by the time they realize what's happening, it's already done. You've already won. So stop talking. Stop explaining. Stop waiting for permission. Get up. Get to work. And let your results be so loud that the world has no choice. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters isn't what you said you were going to do, it's what you actually did. And if you're not about that action, you're just another voice in the crowd. Your dream is your responsibility. Protect it, execute it, and prove them wrong. At the end of the day, your dream is your responsibility. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you success. And if you think the world owes you something just because you have a vision, you're already finished. The only thing that matters is your ability to execute, to put in the work when no one is watching, to stay locked in when doubt creeps in, to grind when you feel alone, because trust me, you will feel alone. This is the price of chasing something bigger than yourself. Most people won't get it. They'll doubt you, question you, try to talk you out of it. And if you're weak, if you're looking for approval, you'll let them kill your dream before it ever has a chance to live. That's why you don't tell them. You don't share your vision with people who can't see past their own limitations. You keep it locked inside and let your results do the talking. People are addicted to noise. They think talking about success is the same as achieving it. But you're different. You don't waste energy convincing anyone. You don't need permission. You don't care if they believe in you, because deep down you already know you're going to make it happen. You move in silence. You stay disciplined. You protect your vision like it's your lifeline, because it is. There will be days when you want to quit. Days when self-doubt tries to creep in. Days when the weight of the grind feels unbearable. But this is where you separate yourself. This is where you either break or build. Most people stop. Most people make excuses. But you keep pushing. You show up. You execute. Because you know success isn't about feelings. It's about discipline, about consistency, about refusing to let anything stand in your way. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your dreams, your plans, or your excuses. It only cares about what you deliver. So stop explaining, stop announcing, stop seeking approval. Get up. Get to work. And make yourself undeniable. Because when you finally succeed, when you finally prove wrong, you won't have to say a damn thing. The results will speak for themselves. Now go. Handle your business. Execute with relentless discipline. And let your success be so loud that the whole world has no choice but to listen. Game over. So stop talking. Stop explaining. Stop waiting for permission. Get up. Get to work. And let your results be so loud that the world has no choice but to listen. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters isn't what you said you were going to do, it's what you actually did. And if you're not about that action, you're just another voice in the crowd. Your dream is your responsibility. Protect it, execute it, and prove them wrong. At the end of the day, your dream is your responsibility. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you success. And if you think the world owes you something just because you have a vision, you're already finished. The only thing that matters is your ability to execute, to put in the work when no one is watching, to stay locked in when doubt creeps in, to grind when you feel alone, because trust me, you will feel alone. This is the price of chasing something bigger than yourself. Most people won't get it. They'll doubt you, question you, try to talk you out of it. And if you're weak, if you're looking for approval, you'll let them kill your dream before it ever has a chance to live. That's why you don't tell them. You don't share your vision with people who can't see past their own limitations. You keep it locked inside and let your results do the talking. People are addicted to noise. They think talking about success is the same as achieving it. But you're different. You don't waste energy convincing anyone. You don't need permission. You don't care if they believe in you. Because deep down, you already know you're going to make it happen. You move in silence. You stay disciplined. You protect your vision like it's your lifeline, because it is. There will be days when you want to quit. Days when self-doubt tries to creep in. Days when the weight of the grind feels unbearable. But this is where you separate yourself. This is where you either break or build. Most people stop. Most people make excuses. But you keep pushing. You show up. You execute. Because you know success isn't about feelings. It's about discipline, about consistency, about refusing to let anything stand in your way. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your dreams, your plans, or your excuses. It only cares about what you deliver. So stop explaining, stop announcing, stop seeking approval. Get up, get to work, and make yourself undeniable. Because when you finally succeed, when you finally prove them wrong, you won't have to say a damn thing. The results will speak for themselves. Now go, handle your business, execute with relentless discipline, and let your success be so loud that the whole world has no choice but to listen. Game over.